Hi everyone, I'm Tom and this is my top 12 games that I will be looking forward to and looking out for at the UK Games Expo, which is this weekend, the 1st to the 3rd of June at the NEC in Birmingham. I'll be there with Rachel, so if you spot us then come over and say hello and it'll all be good, won't it? Because there'll be some brilliant games there too. It's worth mentioning, because it's always worth mentioning, isn't it, that I am running a Kickstarter right now for the channel that runs for the next, well, less than 3 weeks now, but it is for the continuation of the channel to keep it going. I'll keep it brief here, but you can check out the Kickstarter page, links in the description, or there will be an eye in one of the corners, I can never remember which, and that will tell you more. But let's get on with the games. So, number 12 is Chronicles of Crime from Lucky Duck Games, who are at H26 in Hall 1. Why is it this low down? Because I've gone on and on about it in my, most anticipated games. I did a playthrough of it and a ridiculously positive first impressions video for it. You can go and watch the playthrough and stuff. I absolutely loved it, but yeah, it would, I think something would be amiss if I didn't mention it in there, because although I have played the prototype, there will hopefully be a prototype for the Noir expansion there as well. But yeah, there will definitely be a demo of Chronicles of Crime itself, although I think it's pretty heavily booked up already for demo sessions of it. It's a detective game where we are collectively trying to solve a case, and it is run by an app where we do have physical components. We have location cards, we have little item cards, and the way everything interacts in the game is if you want to talk to a person, you scan the card of the person into the app, and you want to ask the person about the shovel that was used as a murder weapon, and you grab there. I'm just grabbing things out of the air here. Yeah, you can just scan the shovel card and the person will start to talk to you about this. Or if you found some jewelry, you scan that and ask a person. Or you have lab contacts that you can ask to do some forensics on the evidence that you found and tell you some more information. It's really, really fantastic. And while I've only seen the introductory case, the first case and the tutorial case, I am really, really excited for more, and as I said in the first impressions video, I think it's going to hinge on, how good those cases are, but based on what I've seen, I'm really, really excited for what's coming up in the future from them. Number 11 is The Gig from Braincrack Games in D8 in Hall 1. This is a demo that I don't know much about. A lot of these are demos I'll mention as well up front, if you're expecting a lot of things to buy. For me anyway, it's just a lot of demos. But The Gig. This is a dice drafting jazz improv game. Now, I really, as a lover of music, as most people are, I would love to see more musically themed games in board games. I kind of think of, there's that Okie Dokie game that's like a Hanabi kind of cooperative card game. There's Thrash and Roll that was a nice dice worker placement game. I can't really think of many that are set in the world of music making, but this is a jazz game where we're working together, but we are trying to be the musician that's most in the spotlight, and it's a dice drafting game that's got an individual roll and write element. We all have, I assume this, there isn't much information out about it, but I assume we're all playing our individual instruments and trying to contribute most or be the most in the spotlight for the goal, but we all have our individual roll and write things for our solos. I love roll and write games, I love dice drafting, and I love the theme, so hopefully this all comes together beautifully, and I can't wait to try it at the expo. Number 10 is for sale. It's the Network's Telly Time from Formal Ferret Games, Hall 2 F2, and there, I've talked a lot of times about the Networks and how much I love that game. The demo, the expansion will also be for demo there, the Executives expansion, but this is a smaller mini expansion that is a deck of UK themed TV shows, and I am from the UK if you didn't realise, so I'm looking forward to seeing the TV shows that are featured in it and just to have more things to add to the Networks. So that's the Network's Telly Time mini expansion. Number 9 is Trickerion, Dahlgaard's Academy from Mindclash Games, Hall 1 K16, and this is an expansion to Trickerion, which is always hidden behind me. There it is, you can just about see it. I was a backer way back when, and it is a beautiful table-hogging, fairly heavy Euro where we are magicians trying to obtain the things we need to make our own special tricks, obtain more tricks, and eventually put on the best shows. It's a really, really fantastic game that sometimes due to its weight we don't get out as often as I would like anyway. But the expansion is, you know, tentatively excited because it was on the heavy side for us anyway, without adding more to it. But it's going to add more things to do in the game itself. But another thing that I'm excited about is it adds a whole new solo mode to it as well. So that will be interesting dimension and a new dimension of playing it anyway, hopefully. And it's the expansion is designed by David Turchley, who does, you know, Kitchen Rush, that's behind me, Days of Fire, Nights of Fire, Days of Fire, all sorts of loads and loads of games. He designs loads, but he's doing the expansion for this too, and I'm excited. Number 8 is Santa Maria American Kingdoms from Aporta Games. This is another demo. This is the expansion to Santa Maria, which came out last Essen. And if you saw my videos for that, and it was in my top 10, I absolutely loved that game. It was a lovely dice drafting game where we had our own individual player boards that we were trying to get tiles that would activate, and then you would draft dice to activate rows or columns of your personal player board and do all sorts of things, try to obtain powers and, you know, go sailing and get these benefits that would trigger every round. It was a really, really great game, and I don't even know what this is going to add to it, but I don't mind, because getting more for this could only be a good thing. Can it? Maybe not, but I'm really, really hoping that it will be great. That's Santa Maria American Kingdoms. Number 7 is Detective, a modern crime board game from Portal Games, who are at Hall 1 C22, and this is their investigation game, completely different to, you know, Chronicles of Crime. This is where we are, again, detectives trying to solve cases, but this is kind of taking is it augmented reality? Maybe it's taking a different approach, where there is an online database that's fictional that we will use for, you know, our cases, that will contain, you know, facts that relate to the things that we're investigating. We can search for things in there, but also it hopes to use facts from the real world. Like, I think the example that they gave when it was first announced was that, you know, somebody mentions that a certain NASA rocket was launched on this day, and so the detectives could then go onto Google, real life Google, and Google the name of that rocket and find the date that something happened, and, you know, piece together the investigation from both the fictional information that you're getting from the case that you're working on and the real life information that's all intermingled in there. I don't know much beyond that, but I will definitely be having a demo of that, and I'm really looking forward to finding out more on it, because it sounds like a very unique take on it, and I really, really hope that it works, because it sounds very, very cool. Number 6 is from NSKN in Hall 1 K2, and this is, pronunciation again, ready yourselves, Teotihuacan, City of Gods, which is a spiritual sequel, successor, continuation kind of thing from Tzolk'in, which was from a few years ago. You might remember it. It's the game with all of the gears, where you place your workers onto gears and they turn, and the longer they stay, they get different actions. It was a really, really great game back then, and this is continuing, you know, the story, getting anything like that. That is basically what I know. I know it's from NSKN, so I'm interested based on that, and I know it is from Daniele Ticini, who is involved in so many good games, including Tzolk'in itself. Just based on that pedigree, I'm really, really excited to see what the actual gameplay is like. Number 5 is, I'll stop saying that it's another demo. They're all demos. Other than the networks, I think these are all been demos. But there are a couple more that I think you can buy in the main preview video that I'll plug in the middle of this one. Anyway, number 5 is Chocolate Factory from Alley Cat Games, who are at Hall 1 B6. And so, the reasons I'm excited about this: cannot shake the Roald Dahl association, even though I'm sure that nobody has said that to me, and they aren't going for that with the art or the theming of it at all, I don't think. But just the words, it's Pavlovian, isn't it? Just can't stop thinking about it, just can't stop salivating at the prospect of a Chocolate Factory game. Not saying Charlie Anther at the beginning of it, but yeah. That aside, it is from Matthew Dunstan and Brett Gilbert, who are the designers of many, many, many games now, but most notably for me, Elysium from a few years ago. It's a really, really fantastic card game. And they designed Professor Evil and the Citadel of Time that I covered recently. There's Pyramids that I haven't played myself. There's so many games that they have coming out. They have one called Raids coming out from ELO at the Expo as well. So they've got the pedigree of the designers as well, and it's got an interesting conveyor belt mechanism where you will be kind of making these machines. You will be building your engine, and it works on a principle of a conveyor belt. But just from those disparate and maybe a little bit vague things, I'm really, really excited. And, Alley Cat games in general, I've gone on about Dice Hospital, and then there was Pocket Farmer more recently, and Cauldron Master before Dice Hospital as well. They are putting out some really great things, and they've got a lot to show. In the main preview video, I'll talk about all of the things they've got to show there, but they're going to have quite a bit. Number 4 is Escape Tales: The Awakening from Board and Dice, Hall 1, K2. And if you've seen me talk about Unlock or Exit or Deckscape or anything like that, I'm really a massive fan of the escape room in a box type of game that has been coming out in the last year or more. And this is Board and Dice's take on it. And it seems, from the description anyway, to have a bigger emphasis on the story that's going on around us, which I'm really excited by. The story itself sounds really cool, that we are performing some kind of ritual that will take us into another dimension, and the adventure is based on that, and just generally it will hinge on the strength of the story and the puzzles, really, won't it? But I'm sure there'll be some surprises thrown in there as well, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they've got prepared for it in demo form anyway. I'm sure that they can't spoil much of the game in a demo, but I'm looking forward to trying it. Number 3 is Jetpack Joyride from Lucky Duck Games again, Hall 1, H26, and this may be at least a significant factor of me is nostalgia, even though it wasn't even 10 years ago really. But Jetpack Joyride was an iPhone game. I assume other mobile providers are available. It was a game where you are basically trying to navigate an obstacle course over lasers and things, and try and obtain the most coins, and you got wacky upgrades to your vehicle to try and get through the level as far as you could. It was a really, really fun, addictive little game back then, and now it's, Lucky Duck have done Fruit Ninja, which was from Half Brick, who were an amazing mobile developer. I assume that they've done more since. But yeah, this is another one of their mobile games that Lucky Duck are turning into a board game, and it has Tetris style looking pieces and is a real-time puzzle board game. And even if it didn't have the theme that had the nostalgia factor for me, I would be really, really interested in that. But all together in one package, I can't wait to try this and see and to be able to tell you more about it after the expo. That is Jetpack Joyride. Number 2 is from Hub Games in Hall 2, E2. And this is Holding On: The Troubled Life of Billy Kerr, which is a really, really unique sounding game. Well, to start with, it's a worker placement game, so that's not the unique part, where we are working in the hospital where this man has been brought in. This 60-year-old man has been on a flight, and he has been brought in, and it's really, really not looking good for him. We will be trying to, give him the best care that we can, but the game is kind of focused on trying to unlock the secrets of this man's life and see what he is holding on to, yeah, I've said secrets and unlock already. I was going to say it again. Yeah, we are trying to unravel his mystery while playing this worker placement game to keep him alive as well. And there's going to be scenarios that we play and find out more and more of the story across, but they are, according to the description anyway, fully replayable. And I just really like as I said with the Escape Tales game, I love escape room games, but with the addition of the emphasis towards story is something that really, really interests me. As with this as well, something that is going on across multiple scenarios, whether it's replayable or not, I really, really want to be kind of drawn in by themes of games anyway. But if there is an ongoing story that we are discovering or having some kind of effect on, I think that is a bigger draw for me than anything, and I really, really can't wait to see what is going on with the game itself. That is Holding On: The Troubled Life of Billy Kerr. And finally, number 1 is Foothills: The Great Little Trains of Wales from Surprise Stair Games in Hall 1, D8. This is from Tony Boydell, the designer of Snowdonia, and it is a 2-player only version of Snowdonia, kind of in the sense that, Agricola, all creatures big and small, or Caverna Cave versus Cave took the bigger Euro games and made them into these really nice, really different two-player only experiences. Foothills is doing that as well. I don't know much about this either. I've seen various, pictures and various little mentions of it in Tony's blog over the last year or so, and I think I mentioned it a little bit in last year's preview video. But it is going to be there this time for a bigger demo. Nice cup of tea last year was really fantastic, and that was a different spin on Snowdonia itself as well. It's basically tied to, I really, really love Snowdonia, and I want to see all of these different permutations and variations of it. But as somebody that plays mostly two-player games, I really, really can't wait to see what this two-player only implementation is. So that is Foothills, the Great Little Trains of Wales. So that is my top 12, was it? Yeah, the number kept changing because I found that I'd missed one off. But that is my top ones. There is a preview video where I talk about games that I am also really excited to try out there, and hopefully there will be time to do it. These demos take time. There probably won't be time. There never is. There wasn't last time. There wasn't at Essen. And hopefully I'll film something. I'll certainly film a report like I did last year about what I tried there and what I thought of all of the different things. Hopefully we can get some footage there, though. As always, I've mentioned there is a live show on Friday at 9 PM in the Tout Suite, the Gaming Rules and Friends. I am one of the and friends. And creaking shelves and heavy cardboard and all sorts of special guests are hoping to appear as well. And there is a charity raffle run by Paul of Gaming Rules, again at 6:30. Well, tickets will be available from 6:30, and I think it starts at 7:30 on Saturday night. That is a raffle where you can win tons of games that have been donated by publishers, and it's all for charity. And those are things that I will be at. There are places that you can definitely find me at those times, but we'll also be roaming the halls up and down for all of the 3 days, I think, so you'll probably bump into us at some point, maybe. But the show's getting huge, isn't it? So maybe not. Hopefully, though. Anyway, the preview video's there. I'll be at those things. The Kickstarter is running. I could really, really use your support to keep the channel going and keep making all of this stuff for another year. But thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you for some games, and bye.